Have you ever felt like everything in your life is going perfectly fine? You have a stable job, you are highly skilled at it, and it brings in a good income. But still, when you sit alone at night, do you feel a strange, hollow emptiness inside? It feels as though you are just a machine, repeating the exact same routine day after day, and the deeper purpose of your life has somehow been left behind. The famous Japanese philosophy, Ikigai, tells us that true happiness isn't just about earning money or doing what you like. Until your work connects with a deeper purpose, your soul will always feel unfulfilled. Today's story will reveal the true secret of Ikigai. Let's travel back to a beautiful village in ancient Japan, where an artisan is looking for his Ikigai. In a breathtakingly beautiful mountain village of ancient Japan, lived a young man named Takeshi. His house sat in a quiet corner of the valley, surrounded by lush green fields and cherry blossom trees. Takeshi lived by a strict, peaceful routine. Every single morning, he would wake up, cook a simple meal for himself, pack his bundles, and walk down to the vibrant, traditional marketplace right in the center of the village. In the heart of this marketplace, Takeshi owned a small but highly respected shop where he made traditional Japanese paper by hand. Takeshi deeply loved this craft. Whenever he stood in the quiet corner behind his shop, filtering wood fibers through pure mountain water, he felt a profound sense of mental peace. He was so incredibly skilled at his work that no one in the entire valley could make better paper than him. He produced standard white paper used for common books and merchant ledger logs. The village accountants, traders, and school children would flock to his shop, buying up his bundles of paper. By sunset, his stock would completely sell out, leaving Takeshi with a very comfortable income. The money was great, the village was beautiful, but still, Takeshi was deeply unhappy. Every evening as the marketplace closed, he would slide down the wooden shutters of his shop and walk back alone to his house under the fading sunset. With heavy steps, sitting in the silence of his empty home, he felt as though his life was trapped inside a cage. Wake up, sell paper, count coins, and sleep. The emotion, the spirit had drained out of his art. He would often think of his late parents, who had taught him this very craft. They always used to say, "Your art should give a meaningful shelter to life." Takeshi would whisper to himself, "I have wealth, I have skill, but is my life meant only to sell ledger pages and pair? What can I create with this talent that truly honors the wisdom of my parents?" One bright afternoon, as the marketplace hummed with the cheerful chatter of villagers, an elegant elder dressed in the grand robes of a city architect stepped into the bazaar. It was Master Kenji. He had not come to the village by chance. He had traveled for miles, specifically searching for the legendary young papermaker he had heard so much about. Rumors of Takeshi's flawless skill had reached the ears of the country's finest builders, and Kenji needed the best for his new project. When Kenji finally stepped through the threshold of the small shop, he looked at Takeshi with a nod of professional respect. He picked up a sheet of the ordinary book paper, rubbed the crisp texture between his fingers, and confirmed that the rumors of Takeshi's mastery were absolutely true. Kenji spoke in a soft, steady voice. "Takeshi, your fingers possess rare magic, and this shop earns you a fine living. But you are only selling what is easy to sell. You are failing to see what your society, what this changing village actually needs right now." Takeshi replied emotionally, "Master Kenji, I am searching for a deeper meaning in my craft. Tell me, what should I do?" Kenji looked out the shop window and said, "Across Japan, the architecture of our homes is changing. People are building wooden frames with shoji, sliding windows and doors. The brutal winter is approaching, and the mountain winds are fierce. The cheap paper people are currently using simply tears apart. We need an entirely new kind of paper for these windows, one that is thick and strong enough to withstand storms and heavy rain, but translucent enough to let the golden morning sunlight filter through and warm the rooms. Takeshi, I have traveled all the way from the city just to meet you. I need the finest craftsman in the country for my new project. I want you to create a paper for me, a paper strong enough to be used for our traditional sliding shoji windows. Kenji asked, "Are you willing to accept this challenge?" Takeshi felt a sudden jolt, as if someone had knocked on the closed doors of his heart. Takeshi said, "Yes." Master Kenji gave Takeshi exactly 7 days. The moment Kenji left, Takeshi made a massive decision. He completely stopped selling his standard book paper for the next 7 days. For the next 7 days, he would sit at his workstation, not to sell, but to innovate and create. Long after the marketplace went to sleep, a solitary lamp burned inside Takeshi's shop. He mixed the bark of mulberry trees with the tough, rigid fibers of wild bamboo. His hands broke into painful blisters. His back ached intensely, but he refused to stop. Many times, the paper turned out too coarse and tore apart. Takeshi would collapse onto the dirt floor in pure exhaustion. Memories of his parents would flood his mind, and tears would stream down his face, mixing into the wet pulp and water. He wept, praying silently for a breakthrough. But he did not give up. He altered the temperature of the water. He infused it with rice starch to make the paper waterproof. He entered a complete flow state. Every breath he took was synchronized with the motion of his hands. On the morning of the 7th day, as he walked into his shop, a fresh bundle of pristine white, thick and velvet-textured paper lay perfectly ready on his table. This was Takeshi's very first true creation, built not for greed, but for a higher purpose. Master Kenji arrived precisely on time. Without uttering a word, he tightly stretched a sheet of Takeshi's new paper across a heavy wooden window frame. First, he poured an entire pitcher of water directly onto it. The water droplets beaded up and slid right off like pearls. The paper remained completely dry and intact. Next, he placed the frame directly against a fierce mountain wind. The paper held its ground effortlessly, without a single tremor. And finally, as the morning sun hit the window, the dark room was instantly illuminated with a beautiful, soft, golden light. Master Kenji turned to the young man and said, "Takeshi, you haven't just engineered a new paper, you have given warmth and life to thousands of homes this winter. From this day on, every grand house in the city will use paper crafted only by your hands." That evening, Takeshi walked back to his cottage just like any other day. But this time, his steps were not heavy. He felt as light as air. He had installed his very own washi paper onto his home window. Inside, the room was perfectly warm, while the cold wind howled harmlessly outside. His shop in the village marketplace became more crowded than ever, as people traveled from distant valleys specifically to buy his shoji paper. His pockets were fuller than before, but the greatest change of all, the old boredom, the lingering sadness, and that empty, hollow feeling, had completely vanished. Today, the 4 circles of his life had merged into a flawless, perfect balance. He loved his craft. He was a master at it. His work solved a practical, crucial problem for his society, and it rewarded him with great wealth and honor. By stepping out of his safe comfort zone, right in the middle of his beautiful village, Takeshi had finally discovered his true Ikigai. My friends, Takeshi's emotional journey teaches us the most practical lesson about Ikigai. Ikigai is not just about making money. It is about making your skills useful to the world around you. When your unique talent aligns with a practical need of society, That is when you unlock the deep, soulful satisfaction you've been searching for. Step outside your comfort zone. Your Ikigai is waiting for you right there. If this deeply logical and soothing story resonated with your heart, let me know in the comments below. Do you also feel this sense of creative dissatisfaction or emptiness in your current work? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more peaceful journeys into ancient wisdom. Thank you for watching.